All right, let's get into our first discussion of the day. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission says all is set for the November the 18th governorship election in Anambra State.
37 political parties have been cleared for that election. Well, we have a lawyer and political analyst, Fred Nzako, in the studio. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, so all seems to be set now for the November 18 Anambra governorship election. In spite of all the drama that has preceded this, of course, we recall the threats by IPOB, now prescribed, that that election will not hold. But thankfully, it looks like it's going to hold. But from your reading so far, now 37 parties have been cleared.
Yes.
And 5 women actually will be contesting, and 7 deputy governorship female. Talk to us about your impressions.
Generally, I think Anambra is set to go on its march in the democratic experiment and experience with respect to deciding who the next governor will be. Will he be a continuation of Governor Willie Obiano's tenure, or will he be a new kid on the block, if you can use that word? Well, are we going to have a Tony Nwoye? Are we going to have an Oseloko Baze? Are we going to have an Osta Chidoka? Or any other? I use that word, any other, because even in the media, they will tell you Obiano, Nwoye, Obaze, or Chidoka, and others. I think it is a sign of the dynamics of the politics and the direction the election is going to go. Yes, 37 cleared. It's going to be a crowded ballot paper, but then it will still not take away anything from the contest as far as the election is concerned, provided, I repeat, provided it is free and fair. The yearning of an average Anambra is to have a free and fair election. Allow the people to take a decision, and the people know where to pitch their support. They know who to elect. So it's a wake-up call on INEC. Let us have a conclusive election this time around. We don't want an inchoate election. We want an election that is concluded. And then while calling on INEC, we also call on the stakeholders, because election is all about participation of all stakeholders. I mean, yes, INEC as the umpire, the contestants themselves and their supporters to play by the rule, and then the electorate to come out en masse. Just like you earlier said in your opener, that the threat by IPOB is taken care of. But even from day one, we knew that that threat wouldn't go anywhere, because, I mean, a typical Anambra person is not given to such a flimsy threat. You know, flimsy threat, and then we knew that we were going to hold an election and then decide who is going to govern us for the next 4 years.
All right.
Because it is very, very important.
Even though we have about 37 candidates, which, based on equity, all of them have their rights, as the case may be. But a lot of people say it's just going to be a three-horse race, or three-horse race between ABGA, PDP, and APC.
I agree with you. The one that would have given it a fourth leg, which is the UPP, has a good candidate but a weak party. Okay. So that is why they are not. UPP is a newly registered political party. Yes. And in Nigerian political experiment, it is difficult for a party to hit the ground and then start winning an election as big as governorship elections. So, and that is why they narrow it to the 3 political parties that have been on ground and have won elections at state, local government, and national level. So it's really a tripartite election, so to speak, between APC, PDP, and ABGA. APC is at the federal center and then has won elections in Anambra State, and PDP, you know, its antecedents, and then ABGA has been in power since 2006. So it's going to be an interesting election, and people will say it's going to be hot. I don't see it hot. I see it interesting.
Interesting.
Very interesting, yes.
Okay, well, it's interesting that you think it's going to be interesting and not necessarily hot. Some have actually applauded the electoral process in Anambra over time. They don't have the antecedents of violence when it comes to elections. But let's talk specifically about INEC's preparedness when it comes to logistics, ensuring that security is on ground, and voter education. And, of course, you know, the technology that will be used and all of that, how ready are those right now from your assessment so
INEC
far?
has said that they are ready. You know, in our political experiments and the experiences of electoral processes, INEC will always tell you that they are ready.
In fact, they said they are battle ready.
There has no election that INEC will not tell you they are ready. It's only when the chiefs are down that you now know how ready they have been. But this is the only election. It's not a joint election across the whole federation. It's only one out of the 36 states. So we expect that all the arsenal in INEC's armory geared towards election must be deployed towards a successful Anambra election. They said they will start already by now. They would have started. They have started conducting training, phase training for electoral officers in phases, and then it will culminate until 15th of November. They would have trained all people who are involved in election, including security agencies, because they are very, very important. Any election cannot be good if you don't have the security organizations doing their bit, because they not only have to protect the voters themselves against any potential hoodlum, they also have to protect the voting materials, the electoral materials, and ensure that the process is conclusive in peace.
So the success of the election depends largely on how they perform.
How they perform. That's why they are a critical stakeholder in the electoral process. And then we expect that I understand over 37,000 policemen and other military and paramilitary personnel will be sent to Anambra State. And then since the python is still dancing in the southeast, we expect that they are the fringes, you know, of the procedures. I mean, there will be some pockets of soldiers, but they won't be involved in the electoral process because they are not their duty. But at least they will guard the territorial integrity of Anambra State.
Of the entire terrain.
There are no, there are no intruders from outside the state that will come in to disturb the election, and then there are no intruders from within that will now bring in those from without. So with the police being in the mainstream of the electoral process, I think and I believe that we're going to have an interesting and good election.
All right.
And then with INEC doing their bit, because I have always maintained that election cannot be rigged without the collaboration of the electoral umpire. Never. It has never happened. If they don't collaborate with potential riggers, because every elector, every politician, virtually 99% of politicians will like election to swing in their direction.
In their favor.
In their favor. And then that brings out some level of desperation. And then they try to compromise the electoral officers. That is the challenge. So INEC has a duty to stand firm and stand tall and not allow itself to be compromised in any way. Once that is done, I tell you, the vote of the people will count.
All right. Now, considering if we see things from the eyes or from the minds or perspective of Anambra indigenes themselves, what will determine their voting pattern? What is that thing they're looking for that would swing them this way or swing them the other way?
Number one, they will look out for that fellow who they feel will continue to give them the dividends of democracy. Governor Chris Ngige had broken the jinx of bad leadership in Anambra State. Governor Peter Obi consolidated on it. Governor Wuli Obiano's own tenure is still arguable, how well he has gone.
Depends on where you're looking at it from.
The prism from which you are looking at it. Some will say, oh, he has done so well. Some will say, oh, he has done so badly. So it is still an arguable position. But the governance of Peter and Chris, I mean, Governor Peter Obi and Governor Chris has been settled that they did very well. So because Willie is still in the eye of the storm, it is not time to begin to accredit him with any performance, either positive or negative. And then I will not be on this platform because I have not come here to campaign for anybody. So I cannot sit on this platform to say it is yes, it is no. I only tell you what the people feel. But the people want good governance.
Simple as ABC.
Simple as ABC. And why do they want good governance? Because they feel they have to help themselves. Federal government has been very unfair to Anambra State for a very long time. I'm not talking about this current federal government. Since 1999, Very, very unfair to Anambra State. So the people themselves want to continue to help themselves. And then a lot of them will feel, look, maybe analytically, is it because we have been playing on the flanks, on the fringes,
and not necessarily the mainstream?
That we have not been getting what is due to us from Abuja? Let us go and embrace Abuja. Let us walk into Abuja. That is what a lot of people are thinking, that it is time for Anambra people to walk into Abuja and take what belongs to them, because they have been outside.
Peter Obi, former governor, did walk into Abuja.
Peter played a very trickish one. Peter played a very trickish one. He will be Abga in the afternoon and PDP in the night. and that is why he has been able to bring Abuja closer to Anambra, but not entirely.
But is that not to the benefit? Is that not to the benefit?
No, it's to the benefit of the people. That's why he performed.
Okay.
But the current government has not been able to do that, either because of the character of the governor or the nature of the president. So, either way, we don't know, but we are not getting what we should get from Abuja.
So how sophisticated is the Anambra electorate right now when it comes to money politics, when it comes to incumbency factor, when it comes to godfatherism, and all of those factors that play out?
Exactly. Those are factors you can never take away, not only in Anambra politics, in Nigerian politics generally. Money, in fact, generally politics all over the world, money plays a lot of role. What determines is what direction has the money gone to. Some will spend a lot of money in campaign, and then some will spend a lot of money in direct doling out to the people on voting day. Lobbying on voting day, and even before the voting day, a lot of money will move around. And of course, you know, the Anambra State is blessed with so many rich people, billionaires, and then you don't expect the billionaires to sit idly by and then allow others to decide who becomes their governor. So you will see a clash of the billionaires. And how do billionaires clash? They clash with their wealth. So money will move around. Anambra State will be rich. The people will have money, and whether the money will influence the voting pattern is what is difficult to determine now, because the people are sophisticated enough to know where to put in their vote. Another thing that will determine the direction of the ballot is the juice of the political campaign. If you campaign on issues that don't appeal to the people, they will feel you have nothing to bring to the table. They will sit down on their own in various small rooms and then take a decision that this man doesn't know what he's talking about. And that is why no serious governorship aspirant will shy away from meeting the people, campaigning directly and indirectly through the media, and then going on debate.
But are you
because
seeing
the debate
issues,
exposes
are you
the
seeing
inner
issues
feelings
on
and
the table right now?
The people.
The debate, the quality of the debate going on right now
are many. One, who is that governor that should make federal government to come and remember Anambra State? Anambra State has the worst federal road in the whole country, in fact in the whole world, between Onitsha and Awka. It's impassable. Somewhere along
and that road has been under construction for a long time.
No, it has not been under construction. They have been mounting construction. The aspect of the road that has been under construction between Onitsha and the Enugu Express is coming from 9th Mile down, and then it has not passed Enugu State. Between Onitsha and Awka on the express is unpassable. The one that people use now, including articulated vehicles, are the roads that are constructed by the state governments. And then it keeps breaking down because the huge express is not there to take those huge vehicles. At some point on the road, you enter around Omonia, you enter into a village and pass through a bamboo makeshift bridge. Wow. What I'm telling you is not an exaggeration. A bamboo makeshift bridge at Nteje. You detour and run about almost an hour to come back to the express just to avoid a certain portion that could even swallow a trailer. So who is that person? Who is that man that will make federal government, that will showcase the problem and challenges of the people to Abuja? And make federal government to remember that Anambra State is still part of Nigeria. It is a very key issue. When I travel, I interact with the people. I go home a lot. In fact, I just came back over the weekend. I travel with people, and they tell you the feeling and the pains. An average Anambra person is a mobile person. The very best thing you can do to an Anambra person is give him good road. The rest he can provide for himself. Because the economics of road construction will tell you that there are free riders. You don't go and do road for others to ride. We call it free rider in economics. So how do you block it? You don't toll the road. If not, indigenous of Anambra can go and begin to put money together. There was a time they had that thought, put money together to go and build federal roads. So how can that happen? It is not acceptable. So that is a very key point that will make the people to decide where to put their vote. Well, the issue of Second Niger Bridge is for the whole of Southeast. But it seems because the tangency of Anambra State to River Niger makes it almost seemingly a fact that it is the Anambra people that suffer more on account of the congestion on the Second Niger Bridge. I mean, on the first Niger Bridge. The first and only River Niger. Yeah. So, in the event of there is no Second Niger Bridge, everybody is suffering. So, who is that governor that will bring Abuja to come and do their responsibility that should do to the people in Anambra State? There are the Federal Medical Center in Anambra State, the whole of Anambra State. That's none. So, you see that there is huge need. Try as you can as a governor. There is a huge need for federal government to remember that Anambra State is part of Nigeria. That governor who will bring the federal government will be the governor that most of the Anambra people will vote for. All right,
I want to stand on your argument of bringing the federal government, because a lot of people have been arguing that there is call for there's call for restructuring, there's call for devolution of powers, and people are looking towards to a new dawn where there is de-emphasis on going to Abuja. Don't you think that the governor should be someone who should be looking at other ways of being independent, other ways of raising money, other ways of ensuring that the state is independent of the center?
Restructuring cannot happen only in Anambra State. It will happen in the whole Nigerian Federation. So restructuring is a national question, it's a national paradigm, it's a national issue. As at now, we are not restructuring. In the event that we are not restructuring yet, we are pushing that Nigeria should restructure. Anambra State is also pushing, but you cannot isolate yourself and say, no, I want restructuring. As of now, we are in the Nigerian Federation. How do we get what belongs, or rather what should come to us in the Nigerian Federation? So that whenever restructuring happens, we'll be part of it. Nobody is against restructuring. Even the villager in Anambra State wants restructuring because it has become so bro-beaten that everybody now begins to say, what is even this restructuring they're talking about? And then even the illiterates would be, in their own native language, will understand what restructuring is all about. But in the event that it has not happened across the federation, we are still discussing it. Yeah. How do we make our state to benefit from what we should benefit in Nigerian Federation, where huge amount of money is spent at federal level, erosion is taking away a lot of places in Anambra State, not only farmlands, but homes. Homes. So how much money is coming to us on ecological fund and how is it utilized? These are issues. There is no village, there's no town, there's no community in Anambra State that is not experiencing one form of erosion problem or the other. There is none. So these are questions you ask. So it is not just to come and mouth, oh, I will give you water. Our people are no longer interested in such mundane issues of campaign. Water, electricity. We can give ourselves water, we can give ourselves light.
As a matter of fact, in fact, the Anambra can give themselves.
They have always been giving themselves that. They have always
been giving ourselves federal roads.
Okay, now.
We can give ourselves federal bridges. We can give ourselves federal hospitals.
Exactly.
We can give ourselves federal...
But for water, light, and housing...
No, don't tell us anything about that.
Now you have a zoning issue on the front burner.
Yes.
Is that something that you think Anambra people would be impressed about, whether it goes to Anambra South or Anambra North, no, and what have you?
That has been taken care of from point one. All the major political parties intelligently produce their governorship candidates from Anambra North. Oh. Anambra State is a state that likes equity. It's the light of the nation. Equity. Let every side test what is governance, so that you don't sit back in your house and say, this man didn't remember me, it's because I'm from here. Governor William is from Anambra North. Peter Obi almost single-handedly planted him as a governor because he wanted a paradigm shift. Anambra North has been agitating. We have not produced governor. They said, fine. He lobbied the rest of Anambra State, and they said they gave all their support to Anambra North. Willie Obiano of ABGA, Anambra North. Tony Nwoye of APC, Anambra North. Oseloko Obaze of PDP, Anambra North. So you can see that head or tail, the next governor is going to come from Anambra North. It is an intelligent calculation done by the leaders and opinion molders of Anambra State. So that There's an adage in Igbo that says, if there are two fishes in the plate of soup and two people are eating, naturally they know that one
I thought you would speak it in Igbo.
That one piece of meat.
that
one piece of meat goes to Mr. A. One piece of meat goes to Mr. B.
Exactly.
And we say, Nejianya Eke Anodinova. So the people of Anambra State have intelligently allowed that zoning arrangement. It is not written, but that tells you how politically savvy the people are. It tells you how politically accommodating, how politically brilliant and intelligent Anambra people are. And then I tell you that after the next term, then they begin to think of, will we go to South or will we go to Central? And then we continue to go around. And so what it now means is that when it comes to your zone, try and deliver. If you don't deliver, you are hurting not only your people, whom you are not representing well, but you are hurting the entire Anambra State.
You might even end up being an Osu.
Of course you can.
You
can be politically ostracized.
All right, now we were talking about 37 political parties, 37 candidates earlier on.
Yes.
Now, it seemed obvious it's going to be a three-horse race like we said. Now, the others, if we take 3 out of 37, that should be 34. The remaining 34, seeing themselves individually, they know within themselves, one way or the other, politically, you know that they may not stand a chance. We were thinking that politicians at that level will start thinking of a coalition, kind of, because if they all come together, they can outrightly beat whoever is the incumbent.
Naturally, in politics, such coalition doesn't happen at this point. If it were possible, why would they have 37 of them? Why didn't they co-align before? You understand what I'm saying? Why didn't they co-align under the Conference of Independent or Opposition Political Parties? But it didn't co-align. Everybody wants to run. Everybody wants to see his name on the ballot paper. To some people, even if they make 5 votes, they don't mind. The important thing is that
very quickly, because we don't
have
enough time. Let me throw this in. The 5 women as governorship candidates,
and then
7
as deputies.
These 7 deputies, I'm even more interested in those. Are they being picked out of sentiments just to, bring women along, or because these women have actually earned it? Because the post of the deputy governor is a very serious one. In the event that the governor is not able to perform, these women are expected to be able to step in. Do you think enough thought has gone into that in terms of what these women have to bring to the table?
You don't take away 2 things in politics. Accommodation of all. If you say sentiment, that is not a problem. Women are the largest voters. Women and youth, they are the largest voters in the electoral process. So if you appoint a woman a deputy governor, it's a campaign issue. You can use that to attract to the sentiment of the women. Secondly, Anambra State is peopled with sophisticated women that can stand their own anytime, any day. And then if you nominate a woman as a deputy governor, it is a sign of accommodation of women in the electoral process. So it's not as if it is...
So it's a tactical move.
It's a tactical move. Tactical move of both accommodation and then the women on themselves. Any woman that is nominated as a deputy governor, check out her pedigree. She is worth that nomination.
All right. Thank you very much, Fred and Zako. We've really had time. In fact, with discussion, it looks like we're in Anambra State now. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. I know we'll have other time to talk about Anambra before the 18th of November.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wish us well.
All right.
Absolutely.
Certainly, we wish you well.
Thank you.